Hello, welcome back. So the title of the video is What's Next? And you're going to leave this video disappointed because it's basically me saying I don't know. But in the short term, I got back from Germany after the sub-7, sub-8 attempt and was feeling a little under the weather. As part of the protocols for going to races, we have to do COVID tests. But I didn't feel under the weather, I felt okay. I just had a very slight cough, which given the last month, I thought was a perfectly acceptable thing to be enduring. Did a little COVID test, a COVID test to go to the Jippingham race, and that came back positive. Subsequently, both Chanel and Juliet have been positive. So we have been somewhat housebound. I've been doing steady rides just to keep intensity real low, just to keep riding, because Nationals is coming up. I'm hoping to be fine for it. If I did nothing, I wouldn't be fine for it. But if I didn't have the Giro behind me, I would be panicking. But I think because the Giro is behind me, I think I should be okay. It was obviously a huge load, and this is a huge taper into the Giro, into the Nationals because of a little bit of COVID. But we're okay. We're okay. So that's the short term what's next, and I thought I'd start to talk about long term what's next, because for those of you that have followed this channel for a while will know that this is this is contract year for me, and you'll know from the last contract year it got a little bit stressful. This year is somewhat less stressful. I think the main reason for that is because of what happened 2 years ago, and I had to mentally prepare myself. We had to mentally prepare ourselves for life without cycling in the World Tour, and we did. And then Israel Premier Tech gave me a contract and I continued racing. But I think that's what makes this year a little bit easier. So what I'm going to talk about is what's next. And I'm going to go on some tangents. It could be anything. It could be like some triathlon, which perhaps wouldn't come as a surprise. Different forms of cycling. Heck, I might even take up surfing, which leads me into this week's video sponsor, Surfshark. And I want to take a minute initially to just thank you guys for supporting Surfshark in supporting this channel, because as you know, like a lot of these things, without sponsors none of this would be possible. So when I say without sponsors I wouldn't be racing a bike, and without sponsors wouldn't be making content for this channel. So just an extra special thank you to Surfshark for that, and for you guys to supporting them. And there's a little extra part of the Surfshark deal which I'll tell you about in a second. So as you know, Surfshark is a virtual private network which is otherwise known as a VPN. And there's more than 4 reasons why you need a VPN. Number 1 is it hides your IP address, so your city, country and download history are not linked to your identity. Number 2, it helps encrypt all of your data and keep it safe, like your credit card details and your personal information, especially when you're on public Wi-Fi. And number 3, if like me you travel a lot, although not traveling much right now, you're often logging into dodgy hotel Wi-Fi, so you can jump and change location easily, so you can watch Race Pass or anything that's geo-blocked from wherever you are. Surfshark unlocks more than 15 Netflix libraries all around the world. Surfshark uses encryption to protect you against snooper and third-party advertisers, so your data isn't being sold on, and subsequently you won't be inundated with those pesky online dating apps. But for the month of June, and this is where things have gone up a notch, for the month of June, along with the usual Brucey bonus of getting 83% off and an extra 3 months for free by using my code Dowsett, Surfshark are also offering their antivirus package for free. Everything you need to know is in the link below, and Surfshark do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's nothing to lose. Back into it. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that the sub-7, sub-8 that I was involved with last weekend didn't open my eyes and broaden my horizons to think life outside of the World Tour. But that's not the first time that's happened. What these other events do is make you realise that there's these wonderful communities, wonderful competitive sporting communities outside of the World Tour that we sometimes dip our toe into, and these are very enjoyable events. And the sub-7, sub-8 was one of them. Also the Red Bull time lapse I did a few years ago was another, and any UK time trials that I get to go back for also. There's things like Grand Fondos and Sportives. It's very different, and it's coming in from being a World Tour rider, and coming into that is just hugely enjoyable, but it really opens your eyes and broadens your horizons. So what's next is, I feel like I have more to give. I always feel like I have more to give, but not much more. Another couple of years and I feel like that's my shelf life as an elite professional cyclist coming to an end. But I'm also very open-minded as to where that could take me for the next 2 years. Sure, it's contract year, that's why this video is existing. If I'm offered another 2 years in the World Tour, then I will take it, but you know, the World Tour game is changing. It's becoming increasingly difficult to get contracts, especially as an older rider. Experience is counting for less and less, I feel, and all the teams are shifting, understandably so, into signing much younger riders. And at 33, turning 34 this year, I am not one of them. Although I still think I have bags of potential. But the World Tour has got harder as well. And I think that's why the much younger demographic has bought a much younger style of racing. Like we saw in the Giro, breakaways just were not allowed to roll off the front, and that's it, that's done for the day. Every day was raced as hard. It was a series of one days. I've never known a Giro like it. It was a lot of fun, but it was brutally tough. Like we were dropping crazy power numbers to just remain in the game. Like 10 minutes at 450 watts for me at 76 kilos was pretty commonplace throughout the entire Giro, just to like remain in the race. So it's got harder, and it's, you know, and that's the evolution of the sport. And I think it's very cool that I've been able to be involved in like over a decade of the World Tour. I'm very privileged and lucky that I found like the sport I was good at and was able to create a career out of it. So if I am in the World Tour for the next couple of years, I think my efforts will be focused obviously into my own racing as ever. That potential I talked about, I need to realise it. But also something I've really enjoyed, and I've become less, like my dad's always in my ear, like don't help your competition because they'll beat you. I'm less fussed about it anymore because I actually just really enjoy helping other people go faster. It's something throughout my whole career is in the time trial world, mostly aerodynamics and pacing of TTs, is I very much enjoy. Within Israel, I've done plenty of TT bike fits, pacing plans, strategies, and just given a lot of advice that I've learned throughout my laps of the Molden 10 basically, throughout my career. I get a huge sense of satisfaction when that rider that I've helped delivers a performance, and like they might not win it but exceeds their own expectations, and that's something I want to continue doing even when my athletic career is done. So where does that leave me? I mean, that leaves me in a point where I'm not scared of not getting another contract. I think 2020 I was scared of not getting a contract, and Chanel and I had to mentally prepare ourselves for what looked like me not getting a contract, and then obviously everything fell into place and Israel Premier Tech offered me a new contract, which I took. But I think that process of mentally preparing ourselves for life without professional cycling has made us far less stressed about a contract this year. You know, I think seeing the sub 7, sub 8, being part of other events has made me want to broaden my horizons a bit more, revisit old loves of the sport. You know, like I loved racing in America. That scene looks like it's picking up massively, especially with what Legion's doing. Like the crit scene there looks like a lot of fun. UK time trial scene is something I always follow it every year. Every year I look at my race program and like, can I do the national 10 and 25? Normally no, but maybe look at the national like 50 miles, 100 mile TTs as well. I used to swim and run. I might try a triathlon. You won't know about it until it's done. Not a single training session will go up online of me doing anything other than riding a bike, and I'll enter under a pseudonym like Alex Dowsett or something. So yeah, like maybe gravel, like I don't know. Just what I'm trying to say here is I have no idea what's next, but I'm actually quite excited for it, and I'm gonna see where the rest of this year takes me and what opportunities open up for next year. So you came here to find out what's next. You didn't find out because I don't know, but
maybe drop in the comments.
maybe drop in the comments what you think I should do next, because that'll be a bit more guidance than what I have right now anyway. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks again to Surfshark, and see you next time.